Okay, so welcome back, students. Today we're going to be doing another read aloud with the series Katie Woo. And this time, instead of focusing on figuring out what would look right, sound right, and make sense at some parts of the story, or asking you just to read with me at parts, I really want us to have the comprehension piece of this book be our main focus today. So there are going to be times where I'm going to be showcasing a think aloud strategy, which means that I'm going to pause and stop and think to myself about maybe what someone said in the book, or trying to interpret what someone means, or maybe even just thinking a little bit more about the expressions on some of the characters' faces, and having some time to question and think to myself what could be happening in the story. So it's just going to be a very simple read aloud where, again, I'm going to showcase how I as a reader would think to myself and try to build a comprehension within this book. This is not something that a lot of readers normally do aloud. They try and do a lot of this thinking in their heads, which is why this is called the think aloud strategy that teachers sometimes do, where we model how this would work, but you're really not going to be doing a lot of this out loud. You are mostly going to be doing this in your head, but we're going to be modeling how you would do it out loud. So ready? Katie Woo, A Nervous Night. Now, readers, without really going into the book or taking a sneak peek, I'm already thinking to myself that what might happen in this book about Katie Woo, A Nervous Night, is that she is going to go to her maybe friend's sleepover, maybe even a family member sleepover. I don't know. I haven't taken a sneak peek. I haven't even looked at the blurb in this book. But I'm looking at the illustration and I'm noticing she has a teddy bear tucked under her arm, and she has a suitcase with her. So I'm thinking she's going to go to a sleepover. Also, the title, A Nervous Night, helps support my thinking with that. Simply because I'm thinking a nervous night, one night might mean that she's going to be spending the night at someone else's house. A house is not normally her own. So that normally happens in my experience when you go to a sleepover. Now, I don't know if this is maybe Katie's first sleepover ever, or maybe she's just nervous about something that's happening and so she doesn't really want to go, but she knows she has to. I don't know. But something is making her nervous, and my initial thought is that it's because it's her very first sleepover. Now, I wouldn't know, because believe it or not, readers, I didn't have my first sleepover until I was, I want to say 21 or 22, when I was still going to college. Just because in my house, it wasn't something that you would normally do to go to someone else's house and sleep over. I grew up in a very Latin household where you didn't go to anyone's house for a sleepover because it just wasn't appropriate. And I don't know if it was just my family or maybe those families in my school environment, because I never heard of sleeping over at someone else's house. But I know that this is something that a lot of you are doing with your friends, where you're having play dates and having sleepovers. So you might be able to relate a little bit more to what Katie is feeling. And again, we are still making predictions. We haven't even delved into this book. But again, just looking at the cover, we can already do some amazing thinking. We can already start thinking aloud to ourselves about what might happen in this book, making predictions. And this is just by looking at the cover, getting information from the illustration, and making some inferences based off of the illustrations and the title. So let's get into this book and do some more thinking. Ready? Katie Woo, A Nervous Night by Fran Manushkin, illustrated by Tammy Lyon. And I am going to go to the blurb in the back just to maybe confirm some of my thinking, or maybe even build some more comprehension or do some more thinking aloud with this book. Ready? Hi, I'm Katie Wu. I was so excited to spend the night at my grandparents' house. Well, see, readers, already I have to modify my thinking and my predictions. She's not spending the night at her friend's house. She's spending her night at her grandparents' house. So that's already kind of changing my mind frame with this book. I have to start modifying my predictions. Ready? I'm going to keep reading. But once I got there, I started feeling a little nervous. How will I ever spend a whole night in this strange place? So, she is having a sleepover, but it's not at her friend's house, it's at her grandparents' house. And she's already telling us a little bit about why she's feeling a little nervous. This is a strange place. Maybe she's never been there before, readers. Maybe she's visited her grandparents' house, but maybe she's never really stayed over. And so she's feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'm wondering if Katie is going to be able to get over her nervousness, her jitters, and be able to enjoy her time with her grandparents. Okay, let's start reading. Ready? Katie Wu, A Nervous Night. Katie Wu, A Nervous Night. Table of Contents. Chapter 1, A Sleepover. Chapter 2, The High Bed. Chapter 3, A Talk with Mom. I'm thinking that maybe in chapter 3, A Talk with Mom might include Katie sharing her feelings with her mom about why she wasn't really that excited to spend time with her grandparents at their house. And maybe that's where her mom might kind of give her some ideas about how she can enjoy her time next time. I don't know. I'm just making predictions. I'm thinking aloud to myself about what might happen in this book. Chapter 1, A Sleepover. Katie Wu was going to a sleepover at Grandma and Grandpa's house. She packed her suitcase, then she kissed her mom and dad goodbye. Katie climbed into the car. I'm so glad you moved close to me, she told her grandparents. Now I can sleep over a lot. Well, readers, I'm going to stop right there and do some thinking. This is a little bit surprising to me that she's expressing this feeling, this emotion about being excited that her grandparents are close to her. Because the title of this book is implying that she's nervous. So it makes me confused. It makes me feel a little bit confused as to why she went from being excited to possibly feeling nervous. Maybe in the next few pages I can come to understand a little bit more as to how Katie's feelings are changing throughout the book. Ready? When Katie saw the house, she smiled. It's a little house in a big woods, she said. It's cozy, said Grandma. You'll see. Katie put her suitcase in the guest room. It didn't look cozy at all. The bed was too big and the walls were a yucky color. Come and plant some tomatoes with me, said Grandpa. Outside, Katie dug holes and dropped tiny seeds in them. In the summer, we'll pick the tomatoes together, Grandpa promised. Inside, Katie helped Grandma make wontons. The next time you visit, said Grandma, we'll make noodle soup. This house is fun, Katie said. Indoors and out, said Grandma. From our porch we can see the sunset. And when you come in the summer, said Grandpa, you will see shooting stars. Chapter 2, The High Bed. Now, readers, I'm still feeling a little bit confused about why Katie's feeling nervous. Now, I can understand on this page she's explaining that the environment that she's in is not really what she's used to. There's also a lot of things in the guest room that are not making her feeling that great. The bed isn't cozy. It's probably not familiar to her. The walls are not a color that she likes. But at the same time, it seems like her grandparents are making a really big effort to make her feel not just comfortable, but happy to be there. Her grandpa is planting seeds with her. Her grandma is making a dish that she seems to like. I can tell by just looking at their faces that they're enjoying not just their time together cooking, but it seems like Katie is actually having fun. And she even said right here, "This house is fun. Indoors and now," said Grandma. Katie doesn't disagree, so I'm really wondering if something else is going to happen that makes Katie not just feel uncomfortable, but nervous. I'm really wondering what is going to happen because, again, the title of the book is A Nervous Night. So I'm wondering what is going to happen in Chapter 2. Ready? Chapter 2, The High Bed. "It's bath time," called Grandma. "Hey," Katie said, "this tub has legs. Are you sure it won't walk away with me?" "I'm sure," said Grandma. "You never know," said Katie. After her bath, Katie put on her pajamas. "I don't like this bed," Katie decided. "It's too high. What if I fall out?" "This is your mother's old bed," Grandma said. "She never fell out." "Really?" said Katie. "Being up so high does make me feel like a princess." "And our home is your castle," Grandma said with a smile. Oh. Readers, so now I'm understanding Katie a little bit more. She's explaining why she's feeling nervous about sleeping in that bed. She's afraid that she might fall out. Well, that's probably a good reason to feel nervous. When you're sleeping in a bed that's not your own, that you don't sleep in every day, it does take you a little bit more time to settle down. I can understand that feeling. Like whenever I travel to a different place and have slept over at someone else's house, it's taking me a little bit more time to relax my mind, to relax my body, and fall asleep. And that's when it's at a place where I'm completely comfortable and happy to be at. And Katie's feeling nervous because the bed is a little bit scary to her. She thinks she might fall out. So her grandma is making her feel a little bit more calm by telling her that it's the same bed as her mom's. Well, it's the same bed that her mom used to sleep in. So I bet that's making Katie feel relaxed. And look over here. Her grandma even told her something that made her feel happy. You can tell by the illustration she's smiling. She's daydreaming, or she's getting ready to dream about being a princess. Uh-oh. But look now, readers. Without even reading the words, I'm thinking there's something else that's happening that's making Katie feel nervous. By looking at this picture, I'm thinking it's because she's not used to going to bed in this environment. So she needs something to make her feel more relaxed. So I'm thinking her grandpa is going to come up with the idea about changing this nightlight to reflect the bear's shadow so that she feels that there's something in the house that makes her feel familiar. Or maybe her grandpa is going to say, hey, don't be so scared. Those shadows that you see, those are shadows that you are actually familiar with. Look, he might even tell her, that shadow's not a monster. That shadow's from your teddy bear. I don't know. I haven't looked at the words. I'm just looking at the illustration because when you are a reader, sometimes you can start doing some great thinking just by looking at the pictures. Ready? This castle is a little spooky right now, Katie told Grandpa. Don't worry, he told her. We have a nightlight. Yikes, Katie yelled. There's a bear in my castle. That's just the shadow of your mom's old bear. Sorry, old teddy bear, said Grandpa. Some of my predictions did come true. Right, I knew that, said Katie. She grabbed the teddy bear and hugged him tight. Chapter 3, A Talk with Mom. Earlier, before I started really reading the chapters in this book, readers, remember how I mentioned that maybe this is the chapter where Katie is talking to her mom about why she felt nervous sleeping at her grandparents' house or sleeping at someone else's house? I wonder what it is that her mom is going to tell her. Okay, ready? Would Princess Katie like some cookies? Offered Grandpa. I'd like to call Mom, Katie decided. Oh, this is even before her mom picks her up. It's even before, I'm thinking, I haven't read yet, but I'm thinking it's even before she even really goes to bed. I'm wondering if maybe Katie is calling her mom to help her feel better. Let's find out. Ready? Mom, said Katie into the phone, you forgot your teddy bear. Maybe I should come home with it now. That's okay, said her mom. You can bring it back tomorrow. Katie, said Grandpa, I wish you'd stay. I made your favorite, ginger cookies. And I will sing your mom's favorite lullabies, Grandma added. Oh, I think that's doing the trick, readers. Look at Katie's expression. It changed from what I'm interpreting as her feeling nervous, just like the title said, to feeling a little bit more joyful. I wonder if it was the part about the cookies that did it. Katie's mom told her, nobody sings lullabies like Grandma. I miss them, and Grandpa's cookies too. All right, Katie decided, I'll stay. After cookies and milk, Katie snuggled under the covers. In the summer, she told Grandma and Grandpa, we will eat tomatoes and make noodles and see shooting stars. She's feeling so much better, readers. I'm coming back for sure, Katie told the teddy bear. And she dreamed of shooting stars all night. The end. And just like the other Katie Woo books, there are some extra features in here, like a glossary and some activities and questions that can help you kind of elevate your thinking within this book. So, today and everyday readers, when you're reading a book, don't forget to think to yourself about what is happening in the story, maybe in regards to what the characters are saying or what you're seeing in terms of the illustration, because those can really help you deepen your thinking and understanding about the book. So when you do that to yourself, you're thinking to yourself to build your comprehension. And the way you saw me do it is by thinking aloud. You saw me model how it is that I would think to myself in regards to a book. So thank you for reading with me, and I can't wait to read with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.